How's it going, everybody? I'm the BTC Reaper. My goal on this channel is to teach you how to reap the rewards of trading whether the price is going up or down. Apple's 30% tax mandate on iOS is illegal, judge affirms, and that could be good for crypto and NFTs. In a decision with potentially major implications for NFT and crypto builders, the United States Federal Appeals Court has ruled that Apple violated California's unfair competition law by forbidding app developers from using any alternative payment methods besides those of the tech giant's own App Store, which levies a 30% fee on most transactions. This came as part of a re-evaluation of a 2020 lawsuit filed by the Fortnite creator Epic Games against Apple over the tech giant's alleged monopoly in mobile game market. Apple mostly prevailed in the lawsuit in 2021, as well as in Monday's decision, with judges in both instances finding that Apple does not have a monopoly over mobile game apps. But the case's initial judge said that in 2021, by preventing app developers from directing customers to alternative payment methods, Apple was stifling fair competition. Monday's panel upheld that finding as well. Last September, Apple opened its App Store to NFTs, but only NFTs sold through its own payment system, which takes a 30% cut of most transactions. So, that right there is the issue. In October, when the company updated its policies to explicitly state that NFTs can only be used to unlock additional content or features within an app if those NFTs were purchased via Apple's in-app payment system. So they're even barring people from trying to use NFTs in an Apple game that they might have bought the NFT on a browser. But if Apple doesn't appeal, or if the ruling is again upheld, then the NFT developers may be able not only to use NFT purchase across the internet to unlock features in iOS apps, but also to direct users within those apps to purchase NFTs on sites that don't charge exorbitant fees. So the summary is, Apple has a market where they charge a 30% royalty on everything that goes through their market, and NFTs can only be bought through that market using Apple, and they will not let any app users unlock new features using apps bought outside if they weren't bought in the Apple Store, even if it's a compatible app. But it's not legal, and if Apple's not able to appeal successfully and this is upheld again, then it's likely that they'll lose that attempt to have a stranglehold there. DAOs could get an official standing under proposed California law. San Francisco Assembly member Matt Haney introduced Assembly Bill 1229 on Monday, which already has support from prominent crypto investment firm Andreessen Horowitz and the Crypto Council for Innovation. I'm shocked this is coming out of California. Assembly Bill 1229 would change the state's corporate code to include DAOs, blockchain networks, and smart contract protocols. If passed, the bill would enable DAOs to incorporate in California and pay taxes while providing better protection for Californians participating in the Web3 economy. They had to make sure that our laws are keeping up with technology, they said. They don't want to get left behind after they've already been left behind. Our goal is to educate our colleagues on blockchain basics, California corporations, and the workings of decentralized autonomous organizations, the spokesperson said. By establishing a legal framework around DAOs, we can create certainty, legitimize this organizational type, and ensure appropriate taxation in California. So, now that they realize that the US is being passed up, people in California of all states are trying to push crypto-friendly frameworks to help establish DAOs as a legitimate business structure. Coinbase CEO backs Stand with Crypto NFT campaign. Coinbase CEO Brian Armstrong has backed a campaign urging the crypto community to unite in their efforts to have the government and regulators establish clear rules of the nascent industry. The crypto exchange chief took to Twitter late Monday to share that he had minted a Stand with Crypto NFT at the Zoro marketplace. The Stand with Crypto commemorative NFT is a symbol of unity for the crypto community seeking sensible crypto policy. This is the symbol. They're calling for people to put a little badge next to their name as well. The blue shield not only shows your support for the cause, but also that you're part of a growing community who believes in the future of crypto. This is purely commemorative NFT with an open mint that has no intended utility or value. So they're saying this NFT is probably going to do nothing, so don't count on it ever increasing in value or having any value. According to Coinbase, all proceeds associated with the Stanley Crypto NFT collection will be donated to the vetted organizations, including crypto lobbyists and educational organizations. The move came hours after the exchange filed a lawsuit against the SEC, seeking to compel the agency to publicly answer a year-old petition on the crypto regulation. Filed in July 2022, after the SEC claimed that 9 tokens available on Coinbase were unregistered securities, the Coinbase petition sought answers to 50 specific questions that would provide clarity and certainty regarding the regulatory treatment of digital asset securities. The SEC is required by law to respond to petitions within a reasonable time, and a year is more than reasonable. We're simply requesting that the court order the SEC to respond at all, which they are legally obligated to do, Grewal wrote. So basically, Stanley Crypto NFT, the Blue Shield, was created because people are sick of the SEC just arbitrarily attacking industries, and there's a year-old ruling that they said, hey, Coinbase, you're offering securities, but they never gave them an answer to some questions on how they're securities, so now they're calling for answers. Bitcoin dominance is starting to slide with this candle. Pretty brutal. We were heading up pretty good before I started the video. We were around here. Our stochastic is starting to fall. We're getting a double red dot on our momentum, and that's starting to fall. RSI is starting to head down. Stochastics could fall pretty brutally. We're just jumping all over on dominance right now. Our money flow is heading down. VWAP is heading down. So with this volatility, I'd really watch the next few candles since we're on the hourly and see if this does come down. With the hourly flashing like this, we may see some downside. But to look at the daily, because I did not mean to be on the hourly, we are getting a little bit of a bearish divergence on our momentum. That did bring us down. You see that here. Our momentum is trying to curl after that. We have a green dot, so we're trying to head up. This somewhat looks like it could try to curl out though, so I'd be a little cautionary. RSI is trying to head up, so that is positive, although it's not really making new highs, even though price is making new highs, so that's concerning. Our money flow is heading up, stochastic's heading up, so we do have some bullish signals, but we have some cautionary signals as well, so I'd just be a little cautious. Our total is trying to retest this trend. We pretty much got our full breakdown of that. For this pattern we have here, our full breakdown would be around this 347. So we could see altcoins slide a little more if we don't go back into this channel and bullishly break. RSI is trying to head up, stochastic's kind of still trying to round out though. Money flow is very weak, trying to break bullish, so we'll have to see if that can maintain and get some strength. Our momentum is trying to curl upwards, and our VWAP is trying to head upwards after kind of stalling yesterday, so that's slightly positive. If we can continue some momentum upwards, we might see a decent break up. So now on Bitcoin, we could have a potential for a very sloppy head and shoulders here. Where this would be your shoulder, this would be your head, and then we could be coming up for another shoulder. So if we come up and then start to round off, that would probably confirm this, and that could drag us down below that 24.4 level. So we could break away from this entire range. And since there's not much volume here, it wouldn't shock me if we broke that and then got a quick volatile move down here, which then we're very close to filling that CME gap. So just watch for that. If we aren't able to sustain bullish momentum past this area and invalidate a head and shoulders, we may be in for some downside. RSI's trying to head up, stochastic's trying to head up, but pretty weak, not really diverged away very strongly. Our money flow is trying to head up after taking a bit of a breather, and our VWAP's trying to head up and break bullishly, so if that can break bullishly, that'll be positive for us. Momentum's trying to curl here and head upwards, so we are getting some signals we could push forward. Not too convinced it'll be a very strong push as we're still in this manipulation zone, and I'm not very convinced that we're going to break out of it and hold unless we actually start holding candles above here first. So, we did not go to the lower time frames there. Over on the 4 hour, our money flow is, wow, we are trying to come up very sharply right now. You can just see very harsh lineup. Momentum's trying to come up, VWAP's trying to head up, our stochastic's trying to head up, RSI's trying to head up. So the 4 hour is looking pretty decent for some run up. But like I said, I wouldn't get too overly optimistic. Wouldn't bet the farm on us going down. But we do have that CME gap and all gaps tend to fill. Stochastics heading up is overall losing strength though. RSI's heading up, money flow's trying to head up very violently, our VWAP's heading up very strong, and our momentum's trying to head up pretty strongly because of this big green candle. But usually when you get the bigger green candles or a bigger red candle, you'll follow with a corrective action sometime after. So on to the 2 hour, we have a green dot that's trying to flash here. Kind of hard to see because our volume profile just wants to stay in the way. Stretch out, you can see a little better there. We do have that green dot. We did break away from our pattern after being on the 1 hour and just going sideways for quite some time and almost convinced me we were going to stay in that flag we had. Our stochastic is starting to round off though. RSI is starting to kind of round off. Momentum's getting pretty overbought. Our VWAP is starting to head down. Our money flow is kind of rounding off and not the strongest break into the bullish zone. So even though we did get green confirmation, it looks like we could flop back over and I'm not too convinced. Over on the 1 hour, we have a little bit of a hammer candle, which when they appear at a rounded top, usually sets you up for some downside. So if we get a red candle and we don't continue any upside from here, we could be set to kind of make that head and shoulders, maybe a very small right shoulder if that would happen. And if we just dump from there, Bitcoin's kind of crazy, you can have that happen. So our money flow did try to break bullishly on the 1 hour as well, but it's looking just as crappy as the 2 hour where it's just rolling right back down. VWAP's heading right back down as well after breaking bullishly. Our momentum's starting to curl. Stochastic's about to make a bearish cross and could head down. And our RSI is kind of flattening out and losing strength here, even though that stochastic's really strong. So I'm not too convinced for a good move up unless we start flagging or form some sort of bullish pattern here and actually break this resistance and hold above this golden pocket. So finally back to graph, we trying to bounce off the bottom of our channel, so we may get another touch up and then we could get another drop down. I'm not too sure that would happen if our total market cap for altcoins isn't able to break into that trend. We'll kind of have to see if it can break that trend, but if it does, we might be able to break this resistance. RSI is trying to head up. Our momentum's trying to kind of curl, but it overall is heading down. Our money flow is trying to curl up, but it's pretty weak right now. Not really a decisive curl, not like that Bitcoin curl. Our VWAP is trying to head up, but it's kind of starting to taper off, so I'd watch for that. Stochastic's about to make a bearish cross, so we're indecisive at best on the daily. Over at the 4 hour, you can see we broke out of our channel and then peeked back into it. RSI's heading up pretty strong, Stochastic's heading up pretty strong. We have a double green dot on our RSI that propelled us forward. Our VWAP is trying to head up. Our money flow is well into the bearish zone at 10 right now on the 4 hour. So we are trying to come up though, but the trend is bearish. Our momentum is heading up. We have a double green dot that could help propel us forward. So if these lower time frames are able to keep sustaining, we may be able to break this area. You can kind of see this is a local resistance as we have a lot of candles that can't get past this level. So keep that in mind as well. Over on the 1 hour, you can see we're kind of pulling away with a reversal arrow. That arrow is kind of spotty. It could be signaling that we could reverse this big green candle and start heading down. Or it could mean that this downtrend is over and now we are going to be in an uptrend. So I'd kind of watch to determine what's going to happen. Our money flow overall is heading up, but is starting to kind of inch away from crossing here. Looks very weird right now. tried to sharply come up and now it's sharply falling, it looks like. Our VWAP's trying to head up, Stochastic's trying to head up, but it's starting to curl out, and our RSI is tapering off. So not the best look here. I'd say we're a little indecisive. That rejection could end up playing us to the downside, but we're gonna have to see. Over on the 1 hour, our Stochastic's got a bearish cross and is about to head down. RSI is kind of flat. Momentum's kind of rounding off here. Our VWAP's starting to head down. Our money flow is well into the bearish territory, and overall is curling away from the neutral zone right now. And our momentum's curling as well, so we're not too strong on the 1 hour. This could be a little bit of a round. We did get that green dot. Usually when you get the reversal then followed by a green dot, you'll get a good move up. So we'll have to see if that can happen. It could still happen. So that may carry on to the 2 hour. We're going to have to kind of watch and see. Over on Anchor for the daily, we are getting a little bit of a bounce off here with a hammer candle. Our Stochastic's starting to round off and head down though, even though we're trying to run up. Our money flow is trying to head up. Our momentum is kind of trying to curl. Our VWAP's starting to head, it has been heading up, but it's not really gaining much strength. It's slowly starting to just curl away here. Just under that neutral zone, so that's kind of concerning for me. We haven't tried to retest this value area low, so likely if we don't get some good momentum tomorrow, we could start to head toward this value area low. So over on the 4 hour, we have this bit of a down channel, which is a bullish pattern, so we are breaking up from that. Stochastic's heading up, RSI is trying to head up. Our money flow is trying to head up, VWAP's trying to head up, momentum's heading up with a double green dot, so we are looking pretty decent here on the 4 hour for some continual movement. Over on the 2 hour, Stochastic's starting to get some signals that it could start to curl. RSI is getting a red dot and could start to curl. VWAP's kind of flattening out, and our money flow is struggling to get above that neutral zone. Our momentum wave looks like it could kind of round off here, so we're not looking too strong right here to me. We'll have to see if the next few candles can get some strength. But bearish signals will happen when you're running up, remember that. Our money flow is rejecting away on the 1 hour as well from the neutral zone, so we are heading back down to the bearish territory. Our momentum's trying to curl. RSI is slightly heading up but has a red dot. Our Stochastic's very weakly heading up and about to curl. So we look like some downside could happen. We're going to have to watch the next couple of candles to determine. Over on the daily for XRP, we look pretty similar. Similar hammer candle almost. RSI is kind of flat. Stochastic looks like it wants to break bearish. VWAP struggling to get above that neutral line. The momentum looks like it wants to get a green dot soon. Our money flow is bullish, but it's very weak and struggling to get above that bullish zone, or stay above the bullish. On the 4 hour, our money flow is very weakly bullish, just barely able to even see it. VWAP's heading up, Stochastic's heading up, RSI is heading up, and our momentum is heading up. So we are trying to make some bullish strides, but it's not the strongest cross into the bullish zone. Over on the 2 hour, we're getting a red dot on RSI, Stochastic's starting to curl away, VWAP's starting to head down, money flow is starting to curl away, and our momentum could round out here, so XRP is starting to look more in line with everything else lately, as we're not getting quite as much hype. The end of the case was supposed to be around the end of this month, but if that doesn't happen, we probably are going to see some sell-off as we see some disappointed people. Our money flow is in the bullish territory on the 1 hour, but very weakly. Our VWAP is heading down, Stochastic's going to curl out. RSI is trying to head up, our Stochastic has a bearish cross. It's not a strong bearish cross, so we could invalidate that and keep going forward, but we're going to have to watch and see. Over on Algo, kind of making a decent bounce here on the 1 hour. We'll take a look on the daily though. Just kind of flagging somewhat in a down channel. Might be more of a descending wedge actually. Descending triangle, not good. Little baby descending triangle could end up bringing bringing us down, snatching these wicks, so just watch out for that. RSI's kind of flat. Stochastic's starting to roll over. VWAP's struggling to get above the neutral. Money flows in the bearish, but heading up. Our momentum's trying to curl up, so very similar to everything else, aside from having a bearish pattern here. Our stochastic and RSI are heading up, as well as the VWAP. Our momentum's starting to curl with the double green dot. Money flow is well into the bearish territory and heading down. So not good for that money flow, but everything else suggesting we want to run up. 1 hour, we're kind of getting a reversal arrow here. Stochastic's starting to point downwards, RSI's kind of tapering out, VWAP's tapering out, money flow's very weak. Our momentum looks like it could start to curl off here, so not looking too strong on algo either. Stochastic's about to curl bearish on the 1 hour here. RSI's kind of trying to head up, but not really going anywhere. Our momentum's starting to round off, VWAP's starting to head down, and our money flow is in the bearish zone. Tried to come up and then just flattened out and just flatlined. So it went dead on us. So not looking too great for a continued move up on the lower time frames. If we can get some money flow crosses into the bullish territory on these lower time frames with some conviction, then it'll be a little more bullish environment, but currently I'm not too convinced myself. Thank you for watching tonight's video. I hope you have a great night.